What do hormones, brain fog, fatigue, skin issues, and mood swings all have in common? Well, you're actually bringing that problem every day into your body through your nose, through your mouth, through your breathing, through your skin, throughout your gut. And most of you don't have a clue what the problem is. Well, today I'm going to talk about the source of that problem, the consequences of that problem, and what you can easily do about it. And you for sure don't want to miss the third idea in what those solutions are. What am I talking about? Toxic load. I've been working with clients for 35 years, and never have I seen a toxic load that's just overwhelming our bodies. It has increased over the last 2, 3, 4 years, and it's at a pretty high level. It's driving so many issues that it's time that we understand where it's coming from, how it's impacting us, and what we can do. So what are the sources that you might be experiencing or being close to on a regular basis? Those sources can include plastics, plastic wrap, plastic bottles, all the plastics. It can include pesticides and herbicides on the food that we eat, on the yards that are sprayed around us in gardens and wherever we travel. It can be all kinds of chemicals. Chemicals surround us in more ways than we can even count. Glyphosate. Glyphosate comes from Roundup, and it's sprayed on anything that's not organic, and it has a huge impact in all of the grains and all of our non-organic food. Heavy metals, everything from metal in our body to metal in our water. Heavy metals are in many, many, many places. EMFs. The rise in technology and 5G over the last several years has brought EMF technology right into our space, and it's impacting our nervous system, our brain, not only us, but children and babies. And negative emotions. With all that's going on in the world today, it is so easy for negative emotions to overwhelm us and become a toxin just as severe as all the ones I've just listed. Now, in addition to those toxic sources, that toxicity comes in and impacts our body, and it shows up in symptoms that many of you probably experienced, but you never associated them with toxic burden. Now, as we go through these symptoms, remember, I'm going to give you such a simple answer that's impacting so many of our clients, and they're getting such amazing results. You're not going to want to miss that, because it's pretty obvious we're exposed to the sources. What are the consequences? Toxicity is pretty much at the root of every single disease. So if you've got a health issue, an illness, there's no doubt that you're dealing with a toxic load. If you're dealing with lack of energy and the little mitochondria, the little engines in your cells can't produce energy, you don't have the energy to heal. You don't have the energy to get pregnant. You don't have the energy to think. You don't have the energy to sleep. And you can't figure out why you have a problem. Toxicity puts a kink into all of that energy production. And significant impact of toxicity is inflammation. Inflammation is what ages you, causes you to look, act, and move so much older than you are. It's what puts on the weight gain, especially in the midsection. None of us want to experience that, and yet many people are, and they don't have a clue, again, where it's coming from. Toxicity is the feeding ground for parasites. Not only physical parasites that can be in our brain and sinuses, in our organs, in our blood, in our gut, but you know what? There's people parasites. Those people that suck the life out of you. And those drive negative emotions and negative loops. So do you see that the sources are feeding the consequences, and maybe you've never thought it went to something just as simple as toxicity? So what can we do to address toxicity? So what's the solution? The solution is a binder. In its simplest definition, a binder is a support supplement that will bind to toxins and usher them out of the body. Now, there's old school binders, such as activated charcoal or zeolites. I used those 10, 20, 30 years ago. But just as toxins have increased in complexity, we needed new technology in the field of binders. And I have found that when you use fulvic acid, humic acid, or carbon technology, you can create something that's very incredible in that binding process. Because binders that use carbon technology will work like Velcro, attach to the toxin, usher them out of the body, and at the same time put that carbon technology into the empty space that can now bring healing and energy to the body. That makes it a huge win. And I personally and professionally consider a binder one of our foundation products. Absolutely, foundation for product. Binders are really, really key. I'm going to show you 3, give a very quick story on each one so you can identify the one that's best for you. If you're in doubt and go, I've never tried a binder, I'm not really sure, I certainly am exposed to a lot of the sources, I have a lot of the consequences and symptoms, then just start with biotoxin binder. That's what I recommend for most people, 1 per meal. It's very easy. It's very helpful for people that travel. It's very people that maybe are on a farm. They're just exposed to a lot of toxins. Now, let's say that you know you've got a lot of metal in your mouth, metal in your body. You're exposed to a lot of chemicals. You eat out a lot, so you're exposed to a lot of the toxins in food, the seed oils, the glyphosates. You know that's a problem. HMET is the one for heavy metals, environmental toxins. It's a little more potent, so I don't usually start there, but it's great when you're traveling and it's great when you're eating out, 1 per meal. Very simple. The next one is called carboxy. Now, this is incredible for people who have issues with candida, long-term use of antibiotics, exposure to mold. This is a powder. This tub will last 5 to 7 months. The little scoop inside is only 1/4 of a teaspoon, and you can start with 1/4 of a scoop and put it in some water, take it before dinner or in the evening, and work up to a rounded scoop. Clients that I have had that have had mold and candida and antibiotic exposure absolutely love the product. But where do you want to start if you've never done a binder, but you can see that toxins are an issue because you're a human being on planet Earth right now? Biotoxin. You can find these on our website. And best of all, if you like learning one aspect of Foundation 4, you're going to want to click on the next video. Understand the Foundation 4 support that could make a big difference in you. And best of all, no matter what you age, you can live your very best life.